Can you picture your mom getting arrested for not buying you ice cream? Or waking up thinking your girlfriend is touching you, but it's actually a cockroach on your face? Today you'll see the most bizarre and embarrassing stories, from pizzas with bugs to police tacos. That sounded like, welcome to the tops! Stay until the end because the last nighttime confusion will leave you completely speechless. One time my mom got arrested in a plaza because of me, and my dumb brain that doesn't think straight, because when I was a kid I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Help! This lady is taking me by force!" I was just being bratty because she wouldn't buy me chocolate ice cream. When I did that, the security guard and others started yelling, "Save the boy! They're taking him!" And the security guard tackled my mom to the ground. But my mom was yelling, "I'm his mom! I'm his mom!" She even showed her ID. But the worst part is I was saying, "Don't believe her!" And in the end, there was no ice cream, but there was a legendary round of sandal and belt whippings when we got home. I still have the marks. One time when I was sleeping with my girlfriend, I thought she was caressing me. But when I got up, I realized it was a damn cockroach on my face. Because the night before, a cockroach had gotten into the room. So I went to get the insecticide. But while I was gone, the damn cockroach escaped. And I never found out where it went. But I told my girlfriend it must have left already. Let's go to sleep. But in the middle of the night, I start to feel caresses on my forehead. I get up and say, "Oh, my lovely girlfriend." But then I see that she had her hands on her stomach. And in the end, I realized that what was caressing me was the cockroach. I jumped out of bed so fast that I woke up and scared my girlfriend. One time when I was in elementary school, I accidentally stole a Maruchan because my friends would buy pizzas, hamburgers, tacos, Maruchan, and all kinds of delicious things at the cafeteria. But my mom always packed me quesadillas, and by the time I was going to eat them, they were all soggy. So one day I told the lady at the cafeteria, "Can I have a Maruchan? I'll pay you when my mom comes." But when my mom arrived, I didn't pay the cafeteria lady, because if I did, she would scold me for not eating the quesadilla. One time when I was 10 years old and going to swimming lessons, a girl was drowning because the crazy teacher threw her into the deep pool. He said that's how you learn to swim. But it was the girl's first day. How could she learn that way? The poor girl wasn't coming up from the water. The teacher said, "Give her time, she'll come up soon." Then her mom, who was there, rushed over to try to save her daughter, but not before giving the teacher a big slap. So she barely managed to put the girl out by her hair, out of the water, because she didn't know how to swim either. So if she jumped in, she would have drowned too. And in the end, the half-drowned girl says to her mom, "I learned how to swim, mommy." Once, when I was 6 years old, I was invited to the movies because my older brother Mochong and his girlfriend told me to go with them. And when the movie ended, we went to the taxi stand. But at one point, they were making me laugh, and I started farting right there in front of everyone. And there was a lady nearby who was listening to my orchestra of farts. Then my brother noticed out of the corner of his eye that the ladies were looking at us weird, but Mochon and his girlfriend were just laughing. And when we got home, they told my mom the whole story. They never took me to the movies again because I was being a fart machine. One time, my little brother ate a pizza that cockroaches had crawled over. Because once I had a sleepover with my friends and we bought a pizza. So my brother saw when the delivery guy arrived and he said to me, "Give me pizza." But I told him no. So my friends and I didn't finish the whole pizza. And when we went to sleep, we left the pizza in the bathroom, but open. And the next morning, I get up and I see my brother just standing coldly at my bathroom door, eating pizza. And I say to him, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he says, "Also eating pizza." And I say, "But that pizza was in the bathroom and a cockroach went over it." But that crazy guy didn't care and he kept eating it. Once when we were kids, my cousin Robalina swore that a real mermaid lived in the well at the house because every night she heard mysterious water noises. But she took it to the extreme because she even made a plan to catch her. She recorded audio of supposed bubbles as evidence, and she even practiced a speech for when she found her. So after weeks of tension, my uncle Chuchito decided to leave the well cover to put an end to the nonsense. And he discovered that the noise was coming from the water pump. And Robalina started crying for 2 days because she said the mermaid had escaped forever. Well then, bye boss. One time my dad told my brother he was gay and embarrassed him in front of the whole family table because my brother tried to mess with him with a dirty double entendre. But he didn't count on my dad being old school and knowing every double entendre in the book, because at that moment my brother turns to my dad and says, "Hey dad, have you seen the clown who hides from gay guys?" And then my dad, totally savage, replies, "Yeah, I saw him, that bastard is hiding from you." And my brother was left speechless because he got totally roasted, like a nuclear burn squared. Now that's a skill, sir. One time my grandma's little dog got lost. Her name was Preciosa and they made a huge fuss about it. Worse than if a child had gone missing, because my grandma was crying and my uncles were putting up posters everywhere. They even put an announcement on the radio saying, "Please, if you see Preciosa, let us know." And they were about to turn the whole city upside down when suddenly a yawn was heard. And it was damn Preciosa. She was sleeping soundly in the closet in my Aunt Pumpkin's room. And the worst part is that my grandma hugged her as if she had come back from the war and the dog didn't even notice. Subscribe if you've ever lost a pet. I remember your dad when the kittens were about to fall out of your nose. Once my mom was afraid of rats, and one day she almost had a heart attack because she had a cat named Atum. And one day Atum caught a rat about the size of the ones in New York. So that guy brought it to my mom all the way to her bed and he put it on her stomach, but my mom was asleep, she didn't feel it. But when she woke up, she saw the huge animal on top of her and she screamed all over the house. And the worst part is she was blaming me because she thought I was the one who put it there. But in the end I told her it was the cat. And we had to give my mom a little coke to calm her nerves. One time when I was 13 years old, I thought a giant salamander had come to wake me up in my room to go to school. Because one day my dad came to wake me up at around 6 in the morning to go to school. But before that, he had taken a shower with water as cold as Antarctica. So when he came to my room, he said, "Son, get up to go to school," and he touched my arm. But since I felt something cold and wet, I did this. Because I was all warm and cozy under my Incredibles blanket. So when I opened my eyes, I saw him and screamed because I thought the Salamander King had come to my room to eat me. One time my dad almost left me behind at the Tabasco fair because I misunderstood when he told me, "Order whatever you want to eat," and I thought it was an open invitation to order everything. So I told the guy at the stand, "I want 3 esquites, 2 corn on the cob, and a marquesita, a salchipapa, a cotton candy, and a shaved ice." And the guy started preparing everything. But when my dad heard the price was 450 pesos, he almost fainted and said, "What did you?" And I said, "You told me to get whatever I wanted." So the people around were cracking up, and my dad, red with embarrassment, paid for everything but took almost all of it away from me. He only left me with a half-eaten corn on the cob because he told me, "So you learned that whatever you want doesn't mean everything that exists. Mom loves your sister. Mom loves your sister. Mom,